Hello everybody, today is February the 1st, Black History Month, the best month of them all. Today, I want y'all to enjoy today's video. Again, it is Black History Month. Sit back, relax, get your popcorn, take your shoes off. We about to go on a roller coaster ride all month long. Today we're going to talk about the Greensboro set-in begins. Now this is about 4 men that came from A&T, set into a all-white lunch, like almost like a luncheon, a lunch table, and they started the movement. And this is what they talked about. On February the 1st, 1960, in Greensboro, North Carolina, 4 black college students sparked a nationwide civil rights movement by refusing to leave an all-white lunch counter at a popular retail store after they were denied service. You know, that's what they done back in the days. The North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State students, Ezell Blair Jr., Franklin McCain, Joseph McNeil, and David Richmond, became known as the Greensboro Four. The students sat at the Woolworth counter until the store closed, promising they would be back the next day. By the end of the first week, 200 protested at the store. Man, that's a lot of people. The demonstration in Greensboro continued for 6 months until Woolworth gave in and integrated the lunch counter. Although not the first sit-in, the nonviolent Greensboro protest became the most known. Local television provided extensive coverage, and in sequential days, similar sit-ins occurred in more than 30 other cities. The initial protest was a result of extensive planning by the students, who received guidance from mentor activists and others. In 2002, a moment to the Greensboro Four was dedicated at North Carolina A&T. The Woolworth store, which closed in 1993, became home of the International Civil Rights Center and Museum. Now, that's to give a little history about what went on with us back. 4 black college freshmen, Joseph McNeil, Franklin McCain, Ezell Blair Jr., and David Richmond. Now, keep in mind, they sat down at a all-white counter and didn't move until they were closed. Now, that's what I call standing up for your rights. Okay. Sat down at a whites all Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina, and politely asked to be served. The white waiter refused and suggested they order a takeout meal from the stand-up counter, but the students did not budge. The store manager then approached the men, asking them to leave, but they did not move. They also did not give up their seats when a police officer arrived and meaningly slapped his nightstick against his hand, directing behind them. While lunch counter set-ins had taken place before, the 4 men from North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University drew national attention to the cause by simply remaining in their seats peacefully and quietly, which is good because they ain't want to get arrested or none of that stuff. The staff left them unsure on how to enforce their whites-only ride. That's a shame. Eventually, the manager closed the store early and the men left with the rest of the customers. It was a small victory, and one that would build. The Greensboro Four's efforts inspired a sit-in movement that eventually spread to 55 cities and 13 states. Woo-wee! Boy, that's what I call getting it in, if you know what I'm saying. Not only were lunch counters across the country integrated one by one, a student movement not only were lunch counters across the country integrated one by one, a student movement was galvanized. I hope I said that right. The set-in established a crucial kind of leadership and a organizing of young people, says Jean, a Brooklyn College political science professor. They mean that young people are going to be one of the major driving forces in terms of how the civil rights movement is going to unfold. The Greensboro sit-in wasn't a random act of rebellion, but the result of months of planning. The students had received guidance from mental activists and collaborated with students from Greensboro all-women Bennett College. They also took inspiration from civil rights causes of years early, including the 1955 lynching of Emmett Till and the Montgomery bus boycott. One member of the Greensboro Four, Joseph McNeil, received the integrate lunch counters after the 1959 trip to New York, a city where he had encountered Jim Crow laws. Upon the return to North Carolina, the Greensboro Trailways Bus Terminal Care denied him service at the lunch counter, making him determined to fight segregation. McNeil worked in the university library with a fellow activist. He encouraged him to protest and participate in the 1949 journey to reconciliation against racial segregation on interstate buses. This was a forerunner to the 1961 Freedom Rides, just as the 1942 sit-in at the Jack Spratt Coffee House in Chicago was a forerunner to the Greensboro sit-in in 1960. Word quickly spread about the Greensboro sit-in in both North Carolina A&T and Bennett College. Students took part in the sit-in the next day. As a few weeks unfolded, dozens of young people, including students from the Women's College of University of North Carolina, flocked the lunch counters and asked to be served. We even had people who saw the sit-ins that were taking place at the lunch counter drive from other states to come down here, Swan says. The sit-ins not only attracted new protesters, they also drew counter protesters who showed up to harass, insult, and assault them, but the act of the intimidation didn't stop the movement from building. After nearly a week of protests, approximately 1,400 students showed up to the Greensboro Woolworth to demonstrate. Boy, I'm telling you, they ain't playing no game. Let's see. Lunch counter sit-in then moved beyond Greensboro to North Carolina cities such as Charlotte, Durham, and Winston-Salem. Police arrested 41 students for trespassing at the Raleigh Woolworth. About a dozen Bennett Bailies were also arrested at area sit-ins. Now, them suckers won't play no games, I'm telling you now. As demonstrators spread to 13 states, the focus of the sit-ins expanded, with students not only protesting segregated lunch counters, but also segregated hotels, beaches, and libraries. And I hope you enjoyed this video about the 4 students from Greensboro A&T that went to a all-white restaurant, sat at the counter, and wanted to be served. So, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about the video. I know I was taking my time trying to pronounce the words. I read half of it before I got on here, so you're supposed to proofread so you can get them names right, but it's still tongue twisted me a little bit. Remember, you're too blessed to be stressed. Love and happiness at all times. Hug somebody, tell them you love them, and always do a random act of kindness, because you don't know where your blessing is coming from. You don't know. Okay? I'm gonna put the description about what went on, like a little paragraph down in the description. I'm gonna put all my information down in the description, but hit all so that every time I upload, you'll get the notification. Bing, 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 bing. I One of a Kind Vlogs will see you all on the next Black History video.